he was still saying at that time, um, yeah, Mario was pretty much saying at that time, like, that he wasn't feeling good still. He was having health issues. He wasn't able to sleep very well or whatever. And pretty much we had started talking a lot at that time on Discord about wide range of subjects. I think pretty much like the Drax and everything in between, like talking about personal details of his life, right? He kept telling me like, oh yeah, I never knew my father. I'm like half Pakistani and half Hispanic or whatever. And he kept saying, yeah, I'm an outcast, just like you, or something like that to relate to me or something like that because, you know, of my like mixed like background or whatever. So, Mario had been trying to relate to me or whatever at the time. And he was being kind of nice, honestly. And he was like, wow, you're so helpful. You're trying to help me with the diet. Oh my gosh, or something like that. And, you know, he was really trying to, you know, it was still in that early stages where, you know, like the so-called love bomb stages where, you know, they try to relate to you and work you up so they can later, you know, gather intel, sabotage and all that. So, by this time, like, I just kept making those, you know, the shapeshifter videos or whatever. And just kept making the shapeshifter videos from the Christian Alexei Kanemi information. But then by, you know, 2020 happened. And then by 2020, you know, I'm trying to remember exactly by 2020. Yeah, because in 2020, he, what he was doing was still supporting my work for the most part, but he would, and also I forgot to mention something. In 2018, he set up a PSYOP with the fake alert Christians. This was actually the earliest stages of his, of his manipulations and deceit, because he invited me into this phone call with this shill node or whatever, this infiltrator named Alert Christians. And he got me on the phone with this Alert Christians guy or whatever, and I spoke with him and Mario on the phone for a couple hours. And then pretty much this Alert Christians guy kept talking about, oh yeah, there's this other species that exists in this world and whatever, and he was like going on about that or whatever. And then he told me to read the book of Matthew in the Bible. This was whatever it was, mid 2018, and Mario was on the call, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll give you until the end of the week to read the book of Matthew in the Bible. And then the next day, before I even get a chance to start reading the book of Matthew in the Bible, the guy Brad from Alert Christians supposedly tells Mario that I'm a demon, non-human shapeshifter, tear entity, and that I can't be trusted, and I'm just a living POS or whatever. And then, you know, Mario was pretty much like, oh, what if Brad is right? What if Brad is right? It's just strange. Why would Brad say that about you? And he kept like insinuating, what if Brad is right? What if Brad is right? Like one of the earliest manipulative tactics on his part. And he still hangs that over my head to this day. So he was, you know, planting the seeds of, you know, pretty much psychological abuse early on, you know, love bomb and then flip and pretty much blame the target for all their problem, for all these things, right? Like all I was trying to do was meet people that I could relate to or whatever, because, you know, the target becomes isolated and all that. So, 2018, yeah, Mario's infiltration, right, already starting to show signs of, you know, being manipulative with that Brad from Alert Christians guy, right? that called me the demon non-human or whatever, just because I didn't, and I didn't even, and he didn't even hold up his end of the agreement. I didn't get any chance to read the book of Matthew and give my thoughts about that. So anyhow, going into like 2020, 2021, me and Mario kept talking and he kept extracting information, personal details from my life. So I think this is long enough for part one, and I'll go into the next part two next, I guess, because I'm running out of storage space on my phone.